Says a rapid increase in the number of motorists using private vehicles has led to increased emissions. Stakeholders are holding discussions at the Southern African Transport Conference. Some forms of public transport favor the haves more than the have-nots. This in the light of government's failure to subsidize taxis, which are a common mode of transport for the poor. Now, this was conceded by Treasury, which subsidies the Gautrain, city buses, as well as airline operators, among other service providers. The taxi operators say the Treasury should also consider subsidizing the taxi industry in order to ease the burden on poor taxi commuters. The transport sector is one of the key role players in the economy. And for more on that story, we're now joined on the line by reporter Ofentse Setimo. Ofentse, good afternoon to you. What discussions took place today at the Southern African Transport Conference?
Well, today, thank you so much, Alicia, was mostly centered around the opening where the minister was supposed to come and open, but she was actually absent today. She wasn't in. Basically, what was discussed today was more issues of infrastructure development, where ports of entry, roads, and other infrastructure was discussed that there needs to be some proper injection of funds in order to improve some of these infrastructure that are found on the SADC region. You know, we've got taxis that go to Lesotho, we've got taxis that go to Botswana and Swaziland, and even the freight and everything. But now they're saying that some of these infrastructure definitely needs to be improved so that the services that are rendered for people crossing the borders of our SADC countries are much more efficient and better. The conference is going to take 4 days. There are other issues as well that are actually going to be entertained during the conference itself.
Ofentse, I mean, the big word has been, of course, subsidizing. Today, we, of course, expect the various transportation groups to be there. Do take us through who is there and basically what kind of input they will have in this conference?
Well, today we got to learn that Santaco, which is a taxi association, is the first time that it's actually partaking in this conference. You remember that the conference has been there for the past 35 years. It's actually been taking part every single year. So Santaco raised the issue of subsidizing. In fact, they were quite that the Treasury is the one that raised the issue to say that as much as they subsidize the airlines, the buses, the Gautrains of this world, the taxis remain unsubsidized, which actually is a burden for the poor, rest of the poor, who actually rely on taxis for transportation from work to home and, you know, to commute basically all over the place. So that was one of the issues that was definitely entertained by the Treasury. And the taxi industry was actually pleased that it's the Treasury that's actually raising it. And on also the slow pace of taxi recapitalization, which was actually left half done, you know, they were also raising that issue to say that recapitalization is definitely essential in order to move past the whole drama or the whole issue of taxi recapitalization.
Now, Ofentse, we know that, of course, Treasury and the Department of Transport are there. So now the resolutions taken here, how will they be affected?
Well, basically, because there's different stakeholders, everyone is going to put what they would want done on the table. Then they will exchange notes, and then eventually they will come to a resolution. But I think today was actually the first day. It was just to sort of check what's the agenda, what are some of the issues that some of the stakeholders would like ironed out. So it's still a bit early to actually conclude as to whether what the conclusions will be, but has taken shape of the taxi industry raising some of their needs to be recapitalized and to be subsidized.
Thank you so much for that, Ofentse Setimo, on the line to us from the conference in Pretoria.